Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T Ubers TV. Well, welcome back to the nation's capital. The humidity is up a bit, the temperature is up a bit, and the Rangers hope the temperature of their bats is equally high here this afternoon as they try to salvage the final game of this three-game series against the Nationals. And welcome in, everyone. A great Sunday afternoon to you from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., along with Mark McLemore, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us, and hopefully the Rangers will come back home on a winning note. They have lost the first two in this series, but Mac, today they're counting on their ace, Yu Darvish.
Well, yes, they are. And Yu Darvish is this Rangers ball club. He's their ace, and he needs to go out and pitch like an ace today to try and salvage at least one game out of this series. Hopefully he can go out and pitch the way he pitched against Detroit. 7 strong innings in that last outing 10 days ago. Only gave up 6 hits and a couple runs, and they definitely need that kind of performance today.
Well, he's been on a good roll. Those numbers would tell you that Yu Darvish has been the real deal of late. He's also getting some runs scored for him when he's out there in the month of May, and now flipping the calendar into June. Hopefully that carries over. So Darvish trying to win a game again this afternoon as he started off this road trip with a W, and the first baseman today behind him will be Donnie Murphy. We'll be back with the starting lineup at the first pitch right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. It's brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T Ubers TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. By the all-new Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity. And by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. Oh, another gorgeous afternoon here in Washington, D.C. A lot of Ranger fans on hand here today. And here's the starting lineup for the Texas Rangers, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And a change at the top just before game time. Daniel Robertson will be the leadoff man. He is going to be playing left field. Elvis Andrus in short. Alex Rios in right. Adrian Beltre bats cleanup. He plays third. Donnie Murphy is the first baseman. Leonis Martin in center field. Chris Jimenez the catcher. Luis Sardinas is at second. And Yu Darvish batting ninth and pitching. And underway at about 1:35 p.m. Eastern Time.
The Sonic scouting report on Tanner Roark. 3-3 record with a 3.47 ERA in 10 starts this season. A 1.6 ERA at Nationals ballpark. And he's a sinker slider guy with a very nice two-seamer that likes to run in on righties and tail back in against left-handers.
Like that one.
Exactly.
Running on righties. Yeah, Daniel Robertson leading things off. A late substitution for the scheduled starter out there, Michael Choice. Michael Choice had to come out of the lineup with a contusion on his left foot. Apparently, or left shin, I should say. Apparently, he slammed a foul ball down on that left leg, and he just couldn't go here this afternoon. So Daniel Robertson gets his first start since the Detroit series, when he and Alex Rios had that collision in right center field, and that's the reason that Daniel Robertson has that extension, that cage on his batting helmet. Grounds it to the right side, and Adam LaRoche will take it to the bag. That is out number one as Robertson grounds out three unassisted. One gone. Elvis Andrus coming up. We'll take a look at the Ranger defense behind Tanner Roark this afternoon. Dave McLeod in left and Art Span in center. Jason Worth in right. You saw LaRoche at first. Espinoza and Desmond up the middle. Anthony Rendon is the third baseman. Wilson Ramos behind the plate again this afternoon. Now, one out, base is empty. Elvis Andrus steps in, hitting at .252. Matt Williams, the first-year skipper of the Washington Nationals, has seen his club get back to the 500 mark. Both these teams are at an even 500. The Nationals at 27 and 27. The Rangers at 28 and 28. Pitch inside, and the count moves to 2-0. Nationals winning the first two games of this series in big-time fashion, 9-2 and 10-2. Chopper over the mound behind second base. Off-balance throws by Espinoza, not in time. And Elvis able to leg out an infield base hit. Now, there's something the Rangers have been needing badly, and that's to get something going in the first inning against these Nationals.
It is, and that's how they've been successful, especially on this road trip, jumping ahead of teams early. They jumped all over Detroit, did the same thing with Minnesota, getting to those starters early. The first couple of innings, third and fourth inning, they're still scoring runs. So it's really important to get to be that first team that scores. It doesn't always mean you're going to win, but it's always nice to get something going early.
Sure is, especially on the road.
No kidding.
Yeah. Get out and kind of keep the crowd out of it a little bit. Here's Alex Rios, loops one into center. Span charging hard. He has to try and play on a bounce, and he gets by him. That's going to allow Elvis Andrus to motor on into third base. A little dump base hit into center field by Alex Rios, and a couple of good things have happened to the Rangers here in the first inning.
Well, Rangers being aggressive again. Alex going after that first pitch. He's kind of been quiet in this series, but before that he was scalding the ball all over the place. And this is a great read by Elvis. You see him on this little dunker, not really sure. He gets down about 3/4 of the way and then sees that Span doesn't get it. The ball gets by him, and Elvis just trucks on over to third base. That's a great read. Those are the little things that Ron Washington's club really likes to do and take advantage of.
Yeah, getting a break that has not happened with Denard Span in center field for the Nationals. Had an error by their center fielder. That's his first error in a Washington uniform. Well, let's see if the Rangers can take advantage.
I think I did that. We talked about that before the game. Yeah. 200 games without an error. That's pretty good.
Now Beltre up there, runners at the corners, and just one out. Elvis giving Roark something to think about. Tanner Roark, originally a Ranger. They drafted him in 2008 out of University of Illinois, and he toiled for a couple of years in the minor leagues. Came over to the Nationals in 2010 in the deal that Here's a pitch foul back. That was the deal that sent Christian Guzman over to the Rangers in a trading deadline deal. They're trying to stock up on some quality players at the deadline to make a run for the flag, which they won that year. First time they had won the American League pennant. Roark, a long set. There goes Rios. The pitch is looped foul back into the seats. We'll come back and try it again in a ball and 2 strikes.
Alex had a great jump on that, but with Beltre, hitting in that cleanup hole and already having a strike on him, he sees a pitch, he's going to go ahead and hack at it. Doesn't matter if that runner has the base stolen or not. You don't want to take the bat out of that cleanup hitter's hand. If Beltre sees something he likes, he's going to let it loose.
Well, he's seen a lot of this road trip that he's liked, and he has turned it loose at a 385 clip in the first 10 games of this trip. Got him swinging. Fastball up and away, and Roark gets the strikeout. 2 gone. Going to be up to Donnie Murphy.
Roark climbing the ladder on Beltre. It's a high fastball. That 2-seamer up and away. Gets a lot of the plate, and Beltre just swung right through it.
And that's a case of missing by a good 3/4 of the width of the plate. Target set down and in, and that pitch up and on the other side of the plate. But he got away with it. So 2 gone. Here's the first baseman this afternoon, Donnie Murphy, hitting a .213. A couple of home runs, 10 driven in. Mitch Moreland nursing a little soreness in his low back, a little tightness. Donnie Murphy given the start. Rangers had a couple of options, but chose to go with Murphy with Jimenez catching this afternoon. And a snap throw to first will drive Rios back. Benji Molina over there to say something to the rangy right fielder. There's Mitch, the Ranger bench. And to take it easy this afternoon. Getting some treatment off and on for that back, and hopes that being off today and the off day tomorrow, he'll be ready to go on Tuesday night. Fastball for a strike. 0-1 to Captain Murphy. Donnie is showing some pop on this trip. That home run, a 2-run home run in Detroit, first stop in this series. He's got Elvis down there at third, and Alex Rios across the diamond at first. 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Going outside, the count evens at a ball and a strike.
Murphy hasn't had a lot of at bats since he's been back, but the few that he's had, he's definitely swung the bat. Swung an aggressive bat, hit some of the balls hard, and that's what you want. And this is a very difficult position for him to be in, not getting those consistent at bats. And he understands the role, and he's accepted that role, and he's going to go out there and play it as best as he can.
Toss over to first as Rios glides back to the bag. What about playing a new position? Donnie Murphy, we saw before the game, getting a little tutorial about footwork around the bag at first. Can that affect your offensive production that day?
I think it can if you're a young guy and you're not used to that. But Donnie Murphy, being a veteran player, he understands. Okay, hey, this is just another position that I got to learn how to play, and he understands how to separate offense from defense. So I don't think it's going to be an issue for Murphy.
Ron Washington and Spike Owen out there trying to help him along. Give Donnie a few pointers on play around the bag. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to him. Roark a check of the runners, and the right-hander sets. There goes Rios. The pitch is outside. The throw to second. Here comes Elvis. The tag is late at second base. Now he's out. And now we're going to see about the run scoring. Did that run score before the slide over the bag and the tag of Alex Rios? And the run is going to score, according to Clint Fagan, the home plate umpire. And Matt Williams out, and he is going to argue that. Now that's a reviewable play. And you can challenge that to see what the placement of the runner would be with that out. And Alex Rios oversliding the bag at second was initially ruled safe, and then the tag was still applied, so he was ruled out. But Elvis had come down that line, looked like he scored.
Yeah, as soon as the catcher Ramos got up to throw, Elvis took off down the line. So if Rios came off that bag at second base and got tagged after that.
Now, Laz Diaz, the umpire, coming down to motion to the Nationals to come back out onto the field while they're talking this thing over. And Ron Washington out there trying to see what in the world is happening here. No, it would go down as a double steal, I believe, and that Alex would get credit for a stolen base,
right,
and then an out at second base.
A caught stealing, because that's basically an attempt going to third base. Once you reach second base, you're given second base, and it's just like a pickoff, so it would be a caught stealing going to third.
Okay, and then Elvis would get a stolen base, getting home, and we're going to have a challenge on this. Ron Washington out there also to talk to the umpiring crew. Jeff Nelson, the first base umpire, is the crew chief of this quartet. And he and I would imagine the home plate umpire, Clint Fagan, who made the call that the run scored, would be the two that are going to come over and put the headphones on. That is who would be involved in this. And it'd be interesting to see. There might be two challenges on the play. You might have a challenge as to whether the run scored or not. But then Ron Washington might challenge the call at second base as to whether Alex Rios was off the bag indeed after the slide and was tagged out then.
Right, and it was kind of tough for us to tell on the one view that we got. It looked as though Alex stayed on the entire time. But you also have Desmond, might have given him a little bit of push, which is fine. As a middle infielder, you kind of do that all the time. So, yeah, there just might be two challenges here.
Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, listening intently, as is Clint Fagan, the home plate umpire. They are in touch with the replay command center in New York. First of all, they had to get straightened out who was challenging what and what the order would be looking at this thing so that they could get the calls made in the proper sequence. And, both Matt Williams, the Nationals manager, and Ron Washington, a vested interest here in the first inning. I mean, it's a considerable difference to be able to score in the first inning, even if that was the third out, if Alex was off the bag after the run scored, as opposed to, in Matt Williams' case, having a scoreless first inning. It makes a big difference to him.
It's a huge difference. If Alex did come off the base and Barry at second base called him safe first, then that run is going to score because Elvis was going all the way, ran hard all the way through like he's supposed to, just in case. And this is that just in case.
We'll take plenty of time to look at this from every angle that's available to the folks in New York. And we get word now the Rangers are indeed, Ron Washington indeed is challenging the ruling on the field that there was an out recorded at second base also. And the Nationals, of course, challenging the ruling on the field that the runner scored prior to the out. So a reversal of the call that Alex was out would negate the importance, or negate making a decision on whether or not the run scored.
You're right.
There would not have been a third out.
It would not matter. If Alex is safe at second, that's it.
Yeah. The umpires still awaiting determination from New York. A multifaceted challenge, a couple of challenges on the same play. And don't forget now, the ruling on the field was that Alex Rios overslid the bag at second, so he was out. But before that out was recorded, Elvis Andrus came down the line from third, stole home on that same play, and he was called not safe, but the run was allowed to score. Well, the ruling is out. And no one is scored. The challenge by Matt Williams means the call is overturned as far as the run scoring. Alex Rios is out, which means the Rangers have no challenge available to them for the rest of the game. And Matt Williams winning his challenge, meaning the run did not score, so he has a challenge available to him. That's how the first half inning comes to a close. So Ron Washington out there to get confirmation now from the umpire crew. They're still going to huddle and go over this. And Wash is going to be told now by the crew chief, Jeff Nelson, exactly what the ruling was.
This is a tough break for the Rangers.
Yeah.
It would be nice to get that first run, especially with Darvish on the hill today. He's got obviously, whenever Darvish pitches, it's a very good chance that he could shut down any offense. So that first run in that first inning would have been very nice.
Wash getting all the information he can from Jeff Nelson to clarify that as best as possible. We'll take a break, come back and see if we can't clear it up for you right after this. No score at the end of half an inning. Well, after the crazy top of the first inning, the Nationals come to bat in still a scoreless ball game. Denard Span leading things off. Darvish with a 1-0 pitch. That's lined to right field. Hit well. Going back is Rios. It's over his head. One hop and into the bullpen of the Nationals. So into second with a leadoff double is Denard Span. Let's take a look at the Nationals lineup very quickly. You saw Denard Span lead off with a double. Anthony Rendon will be next, then Jason Worth. Playing first base, Adam LaRoche. Wilson Ramos catches. Ian Desmond at short bat sixth. Dave McLeod is in left field. Danny Espinosa, the second baseman. And Tanner Roark is the pitcher, batting ninth. Well, Denard Span continuing to swing a hot bat, leading off with a ground rule double into the Nationals bullpen in right field. And Anthony Rendon now at the plate as Darvish comes to him, and a ground ball hit to first. Murphy thought about throwing across the diamond. Donnie was playing just behind the bag and decided against it because Span got a great jump going to third.
Yeah, that's that middle infielder in Donnie Murphy. Getting a hard shot, you got to run on second base. Getting that hard shot hit to you, you sometimes have that opportunity to get that runner over there at third base. You see here, Rendon hits a one-hopper to Donnie, and Donnie thinks about it, but thinks better of it and just takes the sure out at first base.
Well, productive out for Rendon, and with one out now, you have Jason Worth, the right fielder, coming up. The Rangers are going to pull the infield in with one out here in the first. Well, Ron Washington saying this could be very well be a low-scoring game. Let's cut off a run if we have the opportunity. And Jason Worth, a .291 hitter, will step in. Worth 5 home runs, 22 driven in. A check of third. The pitch is on the outside corner for strike one.
The Sonic scouting report on Darvish. 4-2 with a 2.35 ERA and 9 starts this year. Missed that opening day assignment. It's come back pretty strong. Been 4-1 in his career in interleague games.
Next pitch to Worth. high in the air down the right side. That is twisting into foul territory and back about 4 rows. Murphy and Sardinas over to take a look, but then well out of play. And the count moves to no balls and 2 strikes.
This is a situation where Wash, he's thinking, hey, we don't know this kid, Tanner Roark. We don't know what he's capable of. We've heard a lot about him. He's had some pretty good success early. We may not score, 3, 4, 5 runs. So every run is important, and especially with Darvish out there on the mound. If you can keep this Nationals ball club, down to 1 or 2 runs, it gives you a really good chance to win a ball game.
1-2. And, you ask Washington, he'll tell you, well, every ball game is important. But this has a little extra importance this afternoon. You'd like to have a quality ball game out of you, Darvish, and also your ball club, because you've got your ace out there. This is a game you're supposed to win. You need to do it to break that 2-game losing streak here. Shallow left center field going out. Elvis Andrus back to home plate. Makes the over-the-shoulder catch. And Span had come down the line a bit. He didn't feel that was going to be deep enough for him to try and tag and score. So a very big out for Darvish on the little pop fly, and a nice play by Elvis Andrus to make a back to home plate running catch.
Beautiful play by Elvis. He goes back and keep this in mind. He's looking in the sun. The sun is right there. Makes the catch knowing that Denard Span's at third base and he can run, but Span kind of felt that, hey, he's probably going to make this catch, so I just want to make sure if he doesn't catch it, I can score in that situation there. But a tremendous play by Elvis. That is not an easy play, looking over your shoulder and into the sun.
So 2 outs now, and that a very big second out off the bat of Worth. And Adel LaRoche, the power hitting first baseman up there. LaRoche at .321 for the year, 7 home runs, 27 RBI. First pitch is low and away for ball 1. Rangers with that extreme overshift on now with LaRoche up there, but Adrian Beltre not able to cheat too far over toward short, as you can't really leave Denard Span, the runner, to third, a free run down that line.
Not at all. You've got to keep him kind of close, somewhat close, but you've also got to be in position for the hitter as well.
Outside. Jimenez is going to come up, bluff a throw, see if he can make him get down and get his uniform dirty a little bit.
I like that. This is a guy, LaRoche, you've really got to be careful with. You've got first base open. You've got a right-hander on deck. You might not want to give this guy anything good to hit.
Yeah. And that pitch is a high strike, 2-1. And, we've seen LaRoche in this series even, and the scouting reports will tell you he does hit the ball the other way with authority sometimes. So, even though you have the spray charts to tell you need to have an overshift on the infield, you can't just stay in one area trying to pitch to him just away, because he will make that adjustment.
You've definitely got to mix things up to him. Throw him inside. You don't have to come inside for a strike. Just make him think about it a little bit, come inside off the plate, and open up both sides of the plate if you can.
Darvish checking in with Chris Jimenez. The catcher is flashing the signs out. Darvish ready for the 2-1 pitch. Chopper foul outside the bag at first. And that evens things up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. LaRoche missing some time on the disabled list with a quad strain, back in there. And Matt Williams glad to have his cleanup hitter back in the middle of that order. Got Denard Span at third with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Darvish to the plate. Check swing, and the breaking ball down and in. That runs the count full.
Wow, that's a tough pitch to take. Only good hitters can take that pitch.
Yeah. He must have been able to recognize that pretty quickly, because that a guy big and strong like that, normally he's halfway through his swing by the time that comes into play. Now the payoff pitch. Tried the breaking ball to the back door and left it high and outside. A walk, not the worst thing that can happen in that situation. It puts runners at the corners with 2 outs for the right-handed hitting Wilson Ramos. Now let's take a look at the Ranger defense this afternoon, delivered to you by DeMontron RV. Daniel Robertson to start in left field. Leonis Martin in center, Alex Rios in right. Donnie Murphy gets his first start at first base. That's his first career start over there. Sardinas and Andrews up the middle. Adrian Beltre at third. Chris Jimenez again is catching Yu Darvish. Well, Darvish trying to work around a leadoff double by Denard Span and a 2-out walk to Adam LaRoche. Wilson Ramos, the catcher, a .246 hitter. He's going after that first pitch and fouled it straight down. It is 0-1.
You know, that walk to LaRose, that's not a bad thing to happen at all. I'm not taking anything away from Ramos, but he's a right-handed hitter. LaRose is hitting .330. Ramos is just getting back in the lineup. I'd take my chances against the right-hander, absolutely.
Yeah, especially falling behind LaRose, 2 balls and no strikes. Right. You really can't allow him to hurt you in a hitter's count. No balls and a strike to Ramos. Darvish will look over his shoulder at LaRoche. Span down the line a couple of steps from third. And a fastball right down the middle. It's 0-2. Ramos with a 6-game hitting streak coming in today. He's been a .400 hitter, as those numbers tell you. The home run and 3 RBI. That's since coming back off the DL. 0-2 pitch. Tried to get that front door breaking ball and left it inside. It's 1-2.
Darvish going with the breaking ball, trying to get the strikeout here. Doesn't quite get it where he wants it. Yeah, Jimenez setting up down and away. Kind of broke inside a little bit. Stayed inside too much.
There's the breaking ball to the front door. He had to knock on it a couple times and finally found somebody to open it. Side retired, the leadoff double to no avail for the Nationals. On to the second, no score.
This morning, I'm John Radigan here, and I saw the lineup card this morning. I saw Donnie Murphy in there at first base, and I wondered if he'd ever played. I knew he hadn't as a Ranger, so I asked.
First time ever.
Is it?
Yeah. Wow. I've never played it before. You know, they basically, Wash just told me, said, hey, just catch the ball. That's it. So I'm going to go out there pretty soon and go work on some stuff real quick, so I'm not, like, foreign to it, like, completely foreign to it, but a little nervous about it. But, you know, hey, it's just playing infield again, you know.
Love his honesty. He was a little nervous about it, but you know, he had his first opportunity. He was perfect in that, and here he is at the plate, getting ready to finish this at bat that started last half inning. Guys, back up to you.
All right, John, thank you very much. That's too bad. You hate to see a ball club be put in a situation like that. You feel bad for Donnie Murphy. And he lines one to left field, so obviously it did not carry over to his offensive side of things.
He can separate it. I love it.
Leadoff base hit. Third hit of the game already for the Rangers, and Murphy aboard to start the second inning for Leonis Martin.
Murph gets a nice fastball right down the middle, tails back in, catches a lot of that plate. Murph rips it in the left field for his first knock of the day. He's been swinging a great bat since he's been back with the ball club, that's for sure.
Yep. The 1 on, nobody out. Leonis Martin at the plate hitting at .278. Roark, a long look at first and showing bunt. Leonis takes it outside for ball 1. Martin hitting .263 on this trip. You mentioned yesterday, I'm sure that he was very happy to see the month of May come to a close. Hit under .250. We got a rip at that high pitch from Roark and fouled it straight back. I think he'd like a do-over on that.
I think he does too. Got a nice pitch to drive. Looking for that fastball, got it. Fouled it straight back.
Last 4 ball games, Martin averaging a double per game. Roark, the belt high set. And he will try Donnie Murphy back with a toss. Roark at 27. He's 6'2", listed at 228. Stocky right-hander. Set again at the belt. Martin shoots one foul to the left, out of play. Rangers' 25th round pick of that 2008 draft. Tanner Roark. Grew up in Illinois, and a lot of accolades for a multi-sport star in high school. And a chopper foul the other way. Well, Martin staying alive. A ball and 2 strikes.
I like how Martin started this at bat off by squaring around, faking a bunt, and just drawing that third baseman in just a little bit. Got a fastball away, was a ball. The next pitch was a fastball that I'm sure he was looking for and just missed it. But just having that defense react, to think about it, give him, put some more pressure on him. You never know. He may just continue to swing the bat, or he may drop down a bunt, which puts more pressure on that defense.
Donnie Murphy at first, stepping off a rather modest lead over there. Roark checks him, and the right-hander's ready. Looper to the left side of the infield, backing up Rendon, and makes the catch as Leonis Martin gets sawed off pretty well by Roark. Well, a little pop out. That is out number 1, and it'll bring up Chris Jimenez. The folks at Globe Life and the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation grant program gives nonprofit organizations, schools, and cities financial support to give more kids a chance to play baseball or softball in better conditions. Help us help your organization by applying for a grant. Information and an application can be found at texasrangers.com/foundation. And applications are due at the end of June. Chris Jimenez off to a great start this time around with the Rangers. He takes a strike on the outside corner. Jimenez a .440 batting average.
Wow.
That is some serious swing in the bat, and that's not just for a couple days. I mean, this is his 12th game with the ball club, his 7th start. And he's got some at-bats under his belt. Breaking ball from Roark is low and outside. 1-1 the count. In fact, Chris now with 3 consecutive multi-hit games. And 5 straight overall. He's been a .500 hitter in those 5 games, going 11 for 22. There goes Murphy. The hit and run was on, and Jimenez got a breaking ball, fouled it back. We'll come back and reset.
Well, Wash again, just trying to get something going. First inning, you had Elvis on. Rios gets him around to third base. Rios stealing second base. just putting pressure on that defense. You had Murphy going and a hit and run on. Jimenez fouls it off. But just getting something going on. You want to put as much pressure on the defense as you possibly can.
Jimenez back in there. Count of 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Murphy a modest lead again at first. Roark to the plate. 2-2. We're talking about the Rangers on this road trip. They're still hitting over 300 in the first 10 games of this trip. 301 to be exact. 55 runs, so 5.5 runs per game. They're right in the middle as far as runs scored on the road in the American League this year. A little bit over 4.6 runs per game. Puts them 7th in the league for scoring away, but that still is almost a 3/4 of a run more than what they're scoring at home. They've got to pick up that home production. Call strike 3. Delayed call by Clint Fagan. Thought about it for a second. And rang up Chris Jimenez. 2 gone. Second strikeout for Roark.
Roark with that 2-seamer coming back, caught the inside part of the plate just down at the bottom of the zone. And I guess Jimenez thought it might have been a little bit low, but pitch tracker showed that it caught a lot of that plate.
Second strikeout. First of this inning. And now Luis Sardinas, the second baseman up there. Knee-high strike makes it 0-1. Sardinas hitting at 250 overall, a switch hitter up there from the left side against the right-hander Roark. No home runs, but a couple driven in. Roark a check of Murphy at first. And the right-hander comes back to Sardinas, misses low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sardinas 3 out of 16 on this trip. 1 RBI and 1 double. That 1 RBI, a big one. It gave the Rangers the run they needed to win a game 1-0 in Minnesota on Wednesday. And that pitch makes it 2-1.
You know, one of the things I like what this team's doing already is they've got Roark up to 33 pitches. He's only gone over 100 pitches a couple of times this year. So the more pitches they get him to throw right now, the better, and the sooner he'll be out of the ballgame.
Well, Roark has fallen behind Sardinas at 3 balls and a strike. Sardinas hitting 8th with Murphy at first base, and Yu Darvish waiting in the on-deck circle. Roark back to the plate. Loose, a big rip and a foul tip. 3-2. So now with 2 outs, Donnie Murphy will be moving on the next pitch from Roark. First baseman Adam LaRoche letting Roark know that he's going to play behind Donnie Murphy. Right-handers ready, payoff pitch. We'll have to reset after that foul ball.
Well, as a hitter and a runner, you kind of like this situation here. You got as a hitter, you've got the runner moving, so if you hit the ball in the gap, that runner's probably going to score if it's an average runner, which Donnie Murphy is. And if you're the runner and you can run a little bit, it's always exciting to be able to score on a ball that's hitting the gap somewhere.
Right. Everyone ready? Murphy on the move again. Another 3-2. That is high. Ball 4. The Rangers again with 2 aboard with 2 outs. This time it's Yu Darvish coming up.
It's a good at bat by Sardinas. Not being overly aggressive.
Right.
Making Roark throw strikes. Fouled off a couple of tough pitches. And ends up with the walk. And this is a great situation. Darvish has a runner in scoring position. Obviously, he's not an everyday hitter, but he can swing the bat a little bit. And, you know, whatever happens here, great. He's not going to be leading off the next inning.
That's exactly right. First pitch to Darvish is a fastball that's high. You, if you remember, had the last base hit by a Ranger pitcher until Colby Lewis had one here on Friday night. Darvish had a single against the San Diego Padres back in 2012 when he visited out to Petco. And the Rangers, between that Darvish base hit and Colby's hit on Friday night, have gone 0 for 26. But they had some sacrifice bunts.
That's the only thing.
And Darvish takes high inside. The count moves to 2-0, and Wilson Ramos making a slow walk out to the mound. And he wanted Steve McCatty, the pitching coach for the Nationals, to come out and have a chat with Roark. Roark looks as though something is bothering him physically, just by the way, just by his body language, kind of walking around, taking a little more time between pitches, and not having success, missing in spots that we have not seen him miss tonight. Hopefully there's nothing physically wrong with him. McCatty will check it out, and Matt Williams kind of hoping the same thing.
No, it's always a tough thing when you're, if there's an injury to your starter early in the ball game. That means you've got to jump into that bullpen and, run as many guys out there and hope you can string together, 6 or 7 strong innings out of that bullpen.
It looked like Roark assured Steve McCatty he was okay. So runners at first and second. 2-0 the count. And right down the middle. Darvish now with a count of 2-1. Murphy the lead from second. Sardinas away from first. Roark's pitch. Pretty good hack by Darvish, but couldn't quite get on top of that pitch. 2-2.
Very nice hack by Darvish. Does not look like a pitcher swinging the bat. No offense, but pitchers don't tend to have the prettiest swings.
That's all right. Next offering. Ground ball to short. Desmond on across the diamond. That'll do it. Well, the Rangers get a hit and a walk, but strand 2 runners. And we are going to the bottom of the second. Rangers nothing, and the Nationals nothing. On one of our upcoming broadcasts, and that's all thanks to the good folks at AT&T. Just use hashtag Southwest Fan Photo, and your photo might be selected to be aired during the season. One of our Fox Sports Southwest telecasts. We will show you today's selection a little bit later on in the ballgame this afternoon. A great afternoon at the ballpark. Another outstanding crowd. Better than 31,000 each day. 35,000 yesterday, and almost 32,000 here on Friday night. A lot of folks enjoying a very comfortable afternoon. 75 degrees at game time here in Washington, D.C. A very light breeze blowing mostly out towards center field. Nationals ballpark that opened in 2008. That was the last time the Rangers We're here in the nation's capital to play the Nationals. Puffy white clouds flitting by overhead. Beautiful, beautiful afternoon. And we Rangers have really been fortunate on this road trip. Similar weather in the three cities where you can really get slammed weather-wise in the month of May or earlier in the baseball season. You go to Detroit, 4 absolutely perfect days there. 4 perfect days, albeit a little humid at times in Minneapolis, but comfortable. And I've never seen the weather like this in Washington, D.C. this kind of year. It's great.
I don't think I've ever seen the weather like that in any of the 3 places. Definitely not Detroit at any time. Maybe Minnesota. But you can't ask for much better weather than we've had over the last 11 days.
No. Ian Desmond leading off for the Nationals, takes a strike from Darvish. Desmond hitting just .231, but he's leading this Nationals team with 10 home runs and 32 driven in. Darvish back to the plate. A rip and a miss. It is 0-2. Desmond 0 for 3 in yesterday's ball game. He's second among Major League shortstops with that 10 round trippers. Tulowitzki with the Rockies 14 home runs. On the outside corner. 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night for Ian Desmond. 1 gone.
It's Darvish's second strikeout in a row. Looks like he's starting to feel comfortable and heat things up. And Jimenez puts that fastball, puts that target up, down and away. Calls for the fastball, and Darvish put it on a string and right to it.
Here's Nate McLouth. McLouth, one of the few Nationals that has had experience hitting against you, Darvish. Takes a strike. McLouth, of course, seeing Darvish when he was a member of the Baltimore Orioles. Took 0 for 3 against the Ranger right-hander. That pitch low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. McLouth, before taking an 0 for yesterday, had really had his batting average on the upswing. You see that 11-game stint of a .370 average. He had been in the doldrums offensively for the better part of the month and a half, and he has broken out. Ahead of the count here at 2-1. Darvish with the next pitch. This is high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, McLouth, the number 7 hitter, trying to get aboard with 1 out here in the second. He'll be followed by the second baseman, Danny Espinosa. Hit hard, but pulled foul down the first base side. Well, that had first base coach Tony Tarasco backing up in a hurry. He put it in reverse, was getting out of town. What's this? Oh, boy.
He wasn't awake before that. He's awake now. Tony can still move a little bit.
Yeah. Now the payoff pitch. Breaking ball, called strike 3. Well, McLouth knew it. And Darvish, with back-to-back strikeouts to open the second, now has 3 in a row. We'll bring up Espinosa with the bases empty.
Darvish wanted to go down. He hasn't quite gotten that location just yet, but it's worked out twice for him. Able to end up with a backdoor breaking ball to get a couple of strikeouts.
Here's Espinosa. Switch hitting second baseman up there. And again, middle infielders for these Nationals. Very powerful duo of Espinosa and Desmond. Espinosa with half a dozen home runs. But, mired in a pretty good slump of late. His last 8 games have not been kind for Danny Espinosa. Just 1 for 20 with 11 strikeouts. 1-0 pitch from Darvish. Catches the outer corner. 1-1.
You know, you look at those numbers, especially from the middle infielder guys. You know, their averages, it might be kind of low, but all it takes is 1 pitch for them to hurt you. You know, 1 good swing and there's a run on the board. They have that kind of power, so you still have to be careful with them no matter what that scoreboard says.
Espinosa asking for time. Darvish and Jimenez not able to get together on a sign. Now Darvish decides wants a different baseball to work with. A ball and a strike with the bases empty, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Scoreless game. Rangers with 3 hits. Nationals with 1 hit. That was a leadoff ground rule double by Bernard Span in the first inning. One and two.
Well, can a particular ball make that much of a difference?
Yeah, it really can. Max, some guys like the feel of higher seams. Some guys like smoother seams. Some guys like a ball that's really rubbed up a lot. Or me personally, I kind of like to find one with a big scuff mark on it. So I can
of course you did.
Yeah, sure. Swinging, strike 3, and Yu Darvish ends up striking out the side in order. 3 up, 3 down for the Nationals. We're going to the 3rd inning. Rangers nothing, Nationals nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. .com at bat from your favorite phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, stats, scores, audio, free MLB.TV game of the day, and a whole lot more. Download at the App Store, or you can visit TexasRangers.com today. Well, top of the Ranger order to face Tanner Roark here in the 3rd inning. It'll be Daniel Robertson, Elvis Andrus, and Alex Rios. Scoreless ball game. Rangers with 3 hits. They have 2 in the first, and on a challenge to play with a double steal potential. Didn't get the run home as Robertson trying to bunt his way aboard, fouls it back over the screen. It is 0-1. Donnie Murphy getting on the job tutorial from Ron Washington about first base play.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of that going on.
Yeah, it's one thing if a guy hasn't played there very much, and you stick him over there every once in a while. But Donnie has never played there. There's a lot to first base. It take more than an hour before the game to figure it all out. Robertson grounds to short. He is 0 for 2 now, and that's how the 3rd begins for the Rangers. Now, before Elvis comes up, let's take time for a Mazda game break. Here's Dana Larson. Dana. All right, Dana, thank you. Here it's a scoreless game after 2 full innings of play. And Elvis up there for his second at bat. Elvis had an infield single. He chopped one over the mound But Espinosa, the second baseman, tried to throw him out and couldn't get it done. Elvis shoots one foul down the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Elvis now 11 for 38 on the trip. That's about a 280 average or so. He has hits in 6 of his last 8 ball games. And he's going to add another to that tally as he pounds one right back through the middle. Got a pitch that stayed up in the strike zone. Elvis, a very good high ball hitter, just took it right back through the box.
He really did. And you could tell when this team is swinging the bats. They're coming out, first, second, maybe third pitch. They're getting a good pitch and they're not missing it. And when they're aggressive, that's usually when they swing the bats well. Just going up there, the first fastball or first good pitch that they see hanging out over the middle of the plate like this one, they jump all over it.
Our steel pitch tracker showing you that slow motion shot of. If you ever wondered what a hanger looked like, that was a hanger spinning up there. It had that kind of side breaking ball spin to it that had no downward tilt whatsoever. And that's when the ball starts screaming, "Hit me!" As soon as it leaves the pitcher's hand, it's yelling, "Hit me!"
Yelling, blinking, everything.
Yep. Looks probably about as big as a beach ball, doesn't it? Coming up there to you.
I like hitting beach balls.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, when you come up with the Angels, you have to use hitting beach balls out there.
That was one of the favorite pastimes. You're absolutely right. We did used to dig BP with beach balls. Unfortunately, that didn't happen very often over my career.
Pitch inside. Toss over to first, and Elvis back.
Roark has to keep an eye on Elvis, and he knows this is an aggressive team. They're going to get on base. They're going to run. They're going to try to put pressure on that defense, so he has to let them know, okay, hey, I know you're there.
And Elvis, a pretty good footing over there. Double play ground to third, to second, and on to first. And, well, it's one of those years for Alex Rios, leading the major leagues in ground ball double plays. He adds 1 to his total. It's now 15 for Alex Rios. Rangers gone in the third. No score. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. Now, bottom of the third here in Washington, D.C. Nationals Park. A scoreless ball game. Rangers with 4 hits. The Nationals with just 1. And Darvish back to the hill. Now will face Tanner Roark, his counterpart. Lead things off. Get back to the top of the Washington order. Roark 3 for 15 this year. That's a 200 average. He Takes a knee-high strike. It is 0-1. The 27-year-old from Wilmington, Illinois. And strike 2 is called on the outside corner.
You know, this is who you really want to start off an inning when you're playing in that National League Park. Obviously, the pitcher's going to hit, and you want to have that pitcher leading off an inning, and hopefully you can get that first out.
The 0-2 got him swinging. Darvish not wasting any time. That is his 5th strikeout in the game. That is his 5th consecutive strikeout. He will now go back up to the top of the order for Denard Span.
I like what Darvish is doing. So far, his control has been pretty good. His fastball, he's throwing it right where Jimenez is putting that glove down. He's had a little bit of trouble locating that curveball, but he's still gotten a couple of strikeouts on that curveball. So it's that good of a curveball when he misses his spot, and it's not out over the middle of the plate. It's still a good pitch for him.
Here's Span, who had a ground rule double leading off for the Nationals this afternoon. There's a little late swing on that ball, and hits it foul off to the left. Denard Span, strikeout rate for Span not quite as high as Anderson Simmons. Getting that ball in play more. He's really done a good job in the last couple of weeks. And the Nationals were really scuffling, especially after they lost Ryan Zimmerman and Bryce Harper out of the middle of that order. And we talked about this on Friday. Matt Williams had his leadoff man, Denard Span, took responsibility for getting the offense started. Kind of like Adrian Beltre did the other day, Mac, and you mentioned it too. Denard Span said, hey, it's up to me. And he has turned it around almost single-handedly.
Exactly. When you have a guy like that, and Span's been around for a while, so he understands, hey, I'm the leadoff guy. I'm supposed to start this engine. And if I'm not starting this engine, we're not going to score runs. And when you lose a couple of players, the caliber of Bryce Harper and Ryan Zimmerman, it's going to hurt you. So you've got to have other guys in that lineup that are going to step up. And Denard Span stepped up and said, hey, it's my responsibility to get this machine moving, and I need to do a better job. And over the last couple of weeks, he's been doing just that.
Yeah, it seems like almost every team goes through some kind of trial, if you will, about can we do it as a unit? And somebody eventually has to step up and lead the club out of feeling either sorry for themselves or not getting production. And Span drills one to right field for a base hit. Wow. But, to me, it looks like there's almost every year, for almost every team, I should say, every year, has a situation like that the good teams find a way to work through it, and the bad teams never quite get over that hump.
You're absolutely right. And it's the good teams that have a veteran on that team that can do that, a Denard Span, an Adrian Beltre, that will step up and say, hey, it's my responsibility. I need to do this. I need to do better. Not necessarily, everybody will, but when that veteran stands up and says that really, makes everybody else in that clubhouse take a look in the mirror and say, hey, I need to step up as well, and I need to not be that weak link in the chain.
Right. A one-on-one out here is Rendon. It's inside for ball one. I guess the other part of that is by a guy standing up and taking responsibility like that, he's not saying I'm the only one that can do it. And you brought that point up. It causes other guys to look in the mirror and say, okay, what's my part in this? And they take accountability for themselves. And then it becomes a group effort, which is what you're after in the first place.
Absolutely. You want it to be a team effort, and everybody needs to do that from time to time. And throughout the course of this long season, you're going to have some ups and downs where you're not feeling your best, and it may show up on the field. And sometimes you have to have a check. And sometimes, or actually, I think it's best when you have your peers, your teammates, do the checking.
Right.
And it doesn't always have to come from the manager or from upstairs, but your teammates, especially veteran players, need to police everything else.
2-0 now, the count to Rendon with Span at first base, one out. There goes Span. Pitch is lined to right center field. It's playable out there for Leonis Martin. Span trying to get back. A strong throw, but it's just enough offline that Span able to get back to second base. They're going to appeal at second because Span had touched and gone around second base. They will appeal that he did not retouch second on his way back to first, but second base umpire Scott Berry putting his palms down safe side. Now that's going to bring a visit from Ron Washington out to second to Scott Berry to say, hey, are you sure that he retouched second base after he rounded it on his way back to first? And Scott Berry looks like he's saying, hey, I'm standing right there looking at it. And Wash is saying something to the effect that, yeah, he never did touch it.
Didn't touch it either way. So, yeah, he's fine there. You don't normally see that.
No.
And and I would venture to say that Denard Span, being the base stealer that he is, and the veteran player that he is, didn't touch second base on purpose. Going over it, and made sure that he didn't. You see him look down there,
right,
and made sure that he didn't touch it on the way back. So it wasn't an accident that he did that.
So 2 outs, and Jason Worth now will come up with Span still at first base. Good thing that Rendon put that in play too, because Span had a pretty good jump. He's going again. This time he has a good jump. The throw is late. And Span able to swipe his 8th base of the year in 9 tries. Not much that Chris Jimenez could do about that.
No, he got that one all on you, Darvish. Denard Span, a base stealer, had a tremendous jump. Jimenez made it kind of close, but you see here he had about 3 or 4 steps before Darvish was able to get rid of the ball. And that's where, most base stealers steal the base off. They steal the base off of the pitcher.
Right. Sure do. No, Span gets himself into scoring position with 2 outs. Worth, the counter, no balls and a strike. Now make that 0-2 as he cuts through a cut fastball. Worth popped out to shortstop his first time up. Matter of fact, in the first inning, he came up there with Span at third and just 1 out. Rangers pulled the infield in, and Worth had a little pop up to shallow left field. He was caught by Elvis. Going outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Worth 5 home runs, 22 RBI this year. In the last 3 ball games, including the first 2 against the Rangers. See the average for Worth way up in the stratosphere. Yeah, Denard Span at second base. He had a single, a stolen base. He is there with 2 outs here in the 3rd. And Yu Darvish motioning for Jimenez to come out and talk to him. Now, one of the things Yu Darvish said about working with Chris Jimenez exclusively was that he listens to me. And that was the explanation that you gave for preferring to throw to Chris Jimenez. I don't know if that's good or bad. I guess it depends on how you're doing. 1-2 pitch now coming. Span going to third, and the pitch is fouled back, and Span could have stood up into third base with that kind of a jump. Darvish checked him 1 time back there, and Span judged it pretty well, and he would have third base stolen easily.
It's another great jump by Span, but Elvis and Sardinas aren't worried about Span right now. They've got a very big hitter in the box right now, and they've got to make sure that they cover their territory. It's 2 outs. If he gets to third base, it doesn't really matter, because on a base hit from second, he's going to score from second anyway.
Got him swinging up and away, and Worth tried to expand his strike zone. That's 6 strikeouts for Darvish. A hit, 1 stranded. We're going to the 4th. Still no score. family outings to Globe Life Park this season. Coca-Cola family packs include 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Coke soft drinks, 2 Kids Zones wristbands, and 1 souvenir program. Available for $68 in the upper reserve seating or $112 in lower reserve seating. Get yours at TexasRangers.com/specials, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Adrian Beltre to lead off the Ranger 4th inning. Scoreless game. Tanner Roark to the plate with a big breaking ball that drops over the outside corner for strike 1. Beltre has strikeout in the 1st inning. Next pitch to him. And that's just off the outside corner. Tanner Roark with 50 pitches now, 51 pitches now. And 30 strikes, 21 balls. Way inside, 2-1. Rangers have had at least 1 hit in each of the first 3 innings. Last inning, one out Elvis Andrus single was immediately followed by an Alex Rios double play grounder. And the pitch over for a strike, 2-2. Rangers now, by the way, have grounded into 54 double plays as a team this year. The Steel pitch tracker showing that last pitch down and away. And Adrian with a foul ball stays in there at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Beltre with a career average of .361 against the Washington/Montreal franchise over his career. That's his highest against any career opponent. It's the 5th highest average for any player against the Nationals/Expos. Another 2-2 from Roark. In the air to shallow left field. McLeod got a late start, but that's up there high enough where he can kind of cruise in underneath it. Makes the grab. That is out number 1. It'll bring up Donnie Murphy.
It's a good pitch by Roark going inside on Beltre. He's been staying out over the plate, middle of the plate. It's the outside portion of the plate these first 2 at bats. And this at bat from a couple pitches inside, then jammed him on that fastball up and in.
Donnie Murphy had a base hit to left field as he led off the Rangers second. He got as far as second. He just couldn't get him home. Takes a strike here to start things. Donnie now hitting at .222. Rip and a miss. The slower version of the Roark breaking ball. It's 0-2. Pretty basic repertoire for Roark, but he will change speeds with his fastball and breaking ball a bit, and all of a sudden you've got a little bit different movement, significantly different speed. Chopper slowly hit out to short. Desmond on the run. That's an accurate throw, and that's 2 outs.
When a pitcher's able to do that, that's very tough and very difficult on a hitter. Take a little bit off your fastball. If you're throwing 92 and all of a sudden you throw a BP fastball at 89. Now all of a sudden that hitter's out in front of it, and you just keep them off balance that way. A couple of different speeds on your curveball. Very difficult guys to hit off of.
Here's Leonis Martin, who popped out to third base his first time up there. That's, to me, that's the essence of pitching. If you can, instead of trying to name every different kind of pitch you throw, a fastball, a 2-seam fastball, a 4-seam fastball, a cut fastball. It's a fastball. I do something a little bit different with it, and it moves a little bit different way, or I throw a little bit harder, a little bit softer. Those are just fastballs. The rest of it's the art of pitching. You don't have to have a name for it. This is swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
You're right. It used to be, that way. Obviously, he takes a little bit off his fastball. This guy's got a BP fastball.
Right.
Now, like you said, now all of a sudden a guy has 9 or 10 pitches, and it's not really always the case.
Leonis not quite ready to work the Roark. Remember, guys used to get upset when the term slider came out. Say, well, that's just what we used to call nickel curve. Yeah, it is. So it's a hard curveball. Well, that'll do it for the Rangers. They go down in order for the first time this afternoon. 3 up and 3 down. We finished 3.5. Rangers nothing, Nationals nothing. Hometown kids every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Southwest, where it's not about the score, it's about the experience. Kids having a great time out here this afternoon, and here at Nationals Park it is about the score. Don't let the Rangers fool you on that one. Would love to get a couple of scores here and make it a much easier ball game, but Yu Darvish trying to keep the Nationals off the scoreboard. He will face the middle third of the Washington order. That'll be LaRoche, Ramos, and Desmond here in the fourth inning. Darvish, 45 pitches through the first three. He has struck out 6. In fact, he has struck out 6 of the last 8 hitters he faced. And the fastball to the outside corner makes it 0-1 to Adam LaRoche. LaRoche drew a walk back in the first inning. That's the only free pass issued by Darvish this afternoon. Again, the Rangers in that overshift. The right side of the infield loading it up over there with Andrus and Sardinas and Murphy. 0-1. Chopper foul down the right field line. 0-2 the count to LaRoche. One of 3 active players with 25 or more home runs in a season. 4 different teams. There's Adrian Beltre and Alfonso Soriano doing that. There's an overhead look at, from our perspective. There's that slow hook that comes over the inside corner, outside corner. That is strike 3. Darvish with his 7th strikeout.
Wow. And I'm sure LaRoche is saying that same thing. Wow. There aren't many guys that have that kind of slow hook, and then, you see Darvish, it starts up, right around armpit high, and then, my goodness, it's got a great slow drop.
Yeah.
Nice pitch by Darvish. Not much LaRoche can do about that.
Hard to make a ball going that slow spin that fast. And that's something that Darvish has a unique ability to do. So 1 gone. Here's Wilson Ramos. The first pitch is low for ball 1.
Tell you what, it's even harder to hit it.
Yeah, I would think so.
I can't imagine trying to hit that pitch.
Ramos, a .242 hitter. Struck out the first time that he faced Darvish. And a rip and a miss here evens the count.
As we talked about a minute ago about guys that have a lot of different pitches. They take a little off the fastball, a little off the curve, or whatever. David Cone was that kind of guy.
Right.
They used to call him Mr. Invent a Pitch because he'd be in the middle of his windup and he would invent a pitch right then and there. You never knew. And he was a guy that dropped down come over the top for 3/4, and you never knew where it was coming from or particularly what it was.
Yeah, David, very, very talented pitcher. You do a lot of things. Good athlete, too. Line drive, base hit to center field. Darvish got that one up a little bit. And Ramos said, "Thank you very much." But he is aboard with a one-out single. That is the third hit given up by Darvish this afternoon. A 1 on, 1 out. Ian Desmond now will step to the plate. Desmond called out on strikes as he began things in the second for the Nationals against Darvish here today. Rangers at double play depth. They will play straight away against the right-handed hitting shortstop. Ramos not much of a base running threat. The first pitch is on the outside corner for strike one.
Darvish has been very good at getting ahead with that fastball on the outside part of the plate to a lot of these hitters. And he's pinpointing it. There's not a whole lot they can do with it, especially that right-handed hitter. They can't get out over that plate on a 93, 94 mile an hour fastball.
A rip and a miss. Like the cutter from Darvish. It was 0-2 very quickly. Now Desmond, the one guy you don't want to miss in. If you're going to miss against him, you can go ahead and miss off the outside corner, but not when you're trying to throw it in. Like right out there. Good pitch on 0-2.
It's a nice spot to throw it in. If you're going to miss in, you might want to miss in by a foot.
Yeah. Our Steele pitch tracker. Well, yeah, that third pitch could have been called a strike. It would have been a couple of real unhappy Nationals had it been, though. Darvish will look over his shoulder at first. Ramos a modest lead over there. The 1-2 pitch. That's the one you want to stay away from. That ball that hangs on the inner part of the plate. Fouled back, fortunately, by Desmond. That number 4 was not the location that Yu Darvish was looking for. And Mac, you mentioned that he's done that several times today. Left that breaking ball either on the plate up there or off the plate inside. How quickly can a hitter recognize that against a guy like Darvish? Check swing. He went around, and that was a well-located breaking ball. 8th strikeout for Darvish, 2 away.
I'm not really sure that hitters really, know, especially when you haven't seen a guy like this Nationals team hasn't really seen Darvish. But only 3 guys that faced him, and those are limited bats. But you don't really know. Okay, he's throwing me that curveball. It's a strike. Backing up and being a strike called inside. You don't really know that he was actually setting up a way until you go in and look at the tape.
Swung on and lifted in the air to center field. Playable out there for Leonis Martin. Shy of the warning track. He puts it away. So McLeod, the fly ball to center. That'll do it for the Nationals. No runs to hit, 1 left. On we go to the 5th inning. Scoreless in Washington. brought to you by Progressive. The Rangers finishing up this series and this road trip here today. They'll have an off day tomorrow at home. Then Baltimore comes in for 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The Cleveland Indians in over the weekend through Monday of next week. And then the Fish come in. Miami Marlins on Tuesday and Wednesday, the 10th and 11th. Rangers then back on the road to swinging to the West Coast. Seattle, Oakland, and L.A. for the month of June. Chris Jimenez will start things off for the Rangers here in the top of the 5th inning. Scoreless ball game. Rangers with 4 hits. And the Nationals with 3. Jimenez takes a breaking ball that hits the inside corner for strike 1. Jimenez called out on strikes. His first time up there. That was back in the 2nd inning. And a Roark to the wind. He misses high and away. Roark with 3 strikeouts. He has not walked. I take that back. He walked Luis Sardinas in the 2nd inning. In the free pass of the game. That's a knee-high strike. 1-2 now to Jimenez. Chris back in the box, hitting out of that wide stance, slightly open. And just able to get a piece of that breaking ball. Stays alive at 1-2. Jimenez, as we mentioned, had his contract purchased from AAA Round Rock back on the 20th of May. He had kind of on an odd sequence of events. Rangers picked him up right at the end of spring training on a waiver claim from Oakland. He was with them on opening day, and he got designated for assignment right thereafter. Grounds out the 3rd to start the 5th inning. Then re-signed with the Rangers. And, had the opportunity at the end of May to come on back up, and he was really contributing since. Well, folks, you can meet Rangers outfielder Michael Choice June 5th at the Grand Prairie location of Whataburger on South Carrier Parkway. Don't miss the chance to win some great prizes and meet one of your Texas Rangers at Whataburger. 1 up, 1 away. Luis Sardinas, a little roller out to short. And he is gone on 1 pitch. Well, 2 outs now in the 5th, and Darvish up for his 2nd at bat.
Roark, a couple of quick outs here in that 5th inning. This is going to help his pitch count. It was getting up there, but I think that's his 3rd or 4th pitch of the inning. So this could very well be a quick inning.
Darvish takes a fastball right down the middle. Boy, as a pitcher, you love that. You get into the middle part of the ball game, 4th, 5th, 6th inning. You get a quick, say, a 5, 6, 7 pitch inning. Feels like somebody straps an oxygen tank on your back. Just gives you an extra bit of extra breath. Fly ball to left field, and Darvish flies out. The Rangers gone in order. That is 7 straight now. Set down by Tanner Roark. 8-pitch inning for him. Halfway through the ball game, still scoreless in Washington. Max brings you the next post-game fireworks show. That's coming up on Friday, June the 6th. Fireworks show will follow the 7:05 game against the Cleveland Indians. The $15 tickets in the upper reserve seating sections are available when you go to TexasRangers.com/specials by using the coupon code FIREWORKS. Get yours for that Friday night extravaganza. Now, Darvish back to the hill to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Darvish will face the numbers 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Washington Nationals. Darvish, 58 pitches through the first 4 innings. He has given up 3 hits. He has walked 1 and struck out 8 this afternoon in 4 innings. Another big strikeout day for Darvish. Rangers, though, not following through on the run support they had given you of late. They averaged almost 8 runs a game of support for Darvish in May. It's the second highest in the American League, 7.8 to be specific. Ron Washington's club today has been shut out through the first 5 by Tanner Roark. Espinosa, the switch hitting second baseman, will lead things off. Espinosa, a strikeout in the second. Every time he faced Darvish. You come set. And the first pitch of the 5th inning. Pulled down the right field line. It is foul. Well, Espinosa going up there looking for something that he could turn on, and he did. He just turned on it a little too much. And he will have to come back and try it again at 0-1.
Darvish tries to get ahead with that fastball first pitch, which is what he's been doing. This is the second time through the order. So they're starting to see a little bit of a pattern, and it looks like they're going to try and make their adjustments here. And Espinosa, fortunately, pulled that one just foul.
Espinosa, you can see a batting average now at 205 after the 0 for 1. Oh, late rip that time. Might have been the splitter from Darvish. 0-2. Darvish showing no ill effects from that neck stiffness that he had that caused him to miss the start on Tuesday in Minneapolis. Aims that pitch outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Actually, watching him the next day when he went out after he got the MRI that came back clear, he was able to go out prior to the game on Wednesday and throw and run and go through all his normal workouts. And so no problem with it. 1-2 the count. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball down and in that back foot hook. And Espinosa strikes out the 9th punch out for Darvish. 1 away here in the 5th. Well, before Tanner Roark steps in, let's take time for a Mazda game break. Once again, here's Dana Larson. All right, Dana, thank you. Oh, how about Mark Burley? My goodness. Wow. Part of that huge trade between Miami and Toronto before last year. And everybody ridiculing the Blue Jays last year about that. Burley had a miserable year, and it seemed like everybody they got. Josh Johnson was hurt. Reyes was hurt. Now the Blue Jays in first place, and nobody's ridiculing it anymore.
Oh, no, that's a genius move. That's exactly what it is.
Roark got a rip and a miss. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Roark trying to help himself here. Trying to drive something anywhere he can.
And he has gone on strikes. 10 strikeouts for Darvish this afternoon. Well, he continues to add on. Darvish, of course, noted last year for the 10 strikeout performances. He was climbing up the Rangers ladder in 10 strikeout career performances. He is now 3rd. In our Budweiser pitching line for Darvish this afternoon: 10 strikeouts in 4 2/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, just 1 walk.
Here's the guy who's got 2 of those hits.
Denard Span, a double and a single. And he lost one to left field. This one is playable for Daniel Robertson, who backs up, makes the catch, and the side retires. So the first 1, 2, 3 innings since the second for Darvish. We're going to the 6th inning. Rangers nothing, Nationals nothing. Inning brought to you by Sonic. Today's jackpot is worth $1,700 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Today the Rangers are hitting for Thomas Smithart from Fort Worth. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Thomas Smithart from Fort Worth will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Now here we go to the top of the order in the Sonic Slam inning, the top of the 6th. Daniel Robertson, Elvis Andrus, and Alex Rios to face Tanner Roark. Robertson has grounded out both times that he has come up today, once to first and once to short. And Daniel brings in a 130 average to play here this afternoon. 1 RBI, still looking for his first major league home run. He takes a knee-high strike. Roark 73 pitches through the first 5 and 1 hitter here in the 6th. Right-hander to the plate. Chop to the right side. Sliding Espinosa up and thrown, and he got it. Well, Danny Espinosa showing you some pretty good body control and good footwork to nip the very speedy Daniel Robertson.
An outstanding play by Espinosa going to his left. And then dropping down and sliding. You don't see a lot of guys do the slider. Actually, you see more of the slide now than a dive, and that was the only way he was going to be able to get Robertson. Go down to one knee, get up, spin, all in one motion, and then throw a strike over to LaRoche at first base for the out. Great play.
Well, outstanding defense behind Roark, and here's Elvis, who is 2 for 2. He gets a fastball up and in for ball 1. Elvis an infield single in the first. He hit one right back up the middle. Line drive single in the 3rd inning. Gets that fastball on the inside corner to even things, and a ball and a strike. Elvis now just a click below the 260 mark, the 259. It was the last base runner that the Rangers have been able to manage against Roark. Takes that pitch inside, 2-1. Roark to the wind. And Elvis chops one off the plate. Going to be a tough play for Rendon. Throw, and they got him. Oh, what a quick release by Anthony Rendon, the 3rd baseman. And Elvis scooting down that line. thought he might have had it until he got to the bag, and the throw was just there to beat him.
Rendon is flashing some leather over there. This is a very difficult play. You got Elvis who can run, get down that line very well. A high chopper. Normally, most third basemen are going to put that ball in their back pocket. And Rendon throws a rocket over there to first base and just gets it. See how he set up there to when he caught the ball, he was already in his throwing motion, and that's what made the play right there.
Yeah, good point. If you wait till you catch the ball to go into your throwing motion, there's no chance, is there?
None.
Here's Rios, and he scorches one through the left side, a base hit. Well, Alex, with his second hit of the afternoon, he singled back in the first. And now he's aboard with 2 outs here in the 6th. And it brings up Adrian Beltre.
All right, Buzz. I think, part of this is our problem. The Rangers haven't hit a home run in 6 games.
Sounds like you're putting the call in.
I am putting the call in.
Okay.
Right here, right now, Beltre. We have not done that the whole road trip.
You heard it, folks. Mark McLemore putting it right on the line here.
Listen, I'm going to get out there on the ledge, and believe me, this is a ledge.
Yeah. You know what? Normally I try and talk you off. I'm not coming out there to talk you off.
You're not going to save me?
I'll save you, but I'm going to have to do it from back here.
All right. I'll trust you.
Neither one of us are real good at these heights.
No.
All right. Well, let's see what Adrian comes up with. You heard Mac. He's putting it on AB's shoulders. Beltre, a strikeout, a fly ball to left. Rios drawing the attention of Tanner Roark at first base. Rios part of that challenge, that double challenge back in the first inning. Andrews had Rios at first and Andrews at third with 2 outs. And Rios caught stealing, according to the umpires, at second. He's going again. The throw this time is into him, and the ball gets away from Espinosa. So Rios gets a stolen base, and he's in scoring position now in the 6th inning for Beltre.
I just love watching this guy run. See this jump here, great jump, and those strides. He just eats up distance quickly with those long strides.
Ball came and hit Espinosa right at the chest.
Wow. The hazard just playing in the middle infield.
It must be.
You get dinged up a lot, you just have to, take it and go on with it.
1 ball, no strikes to count. There was a pitch that actually could have made you a profit. Ball straight back and out of play. It was 1-1. Yeah, high fastball for Beltre.
Oof. Just missed it. A little bit behind on it.
Roark okays the sign and checks second. 1-1 pitch. Now 2-1. One thing about Roark, he does not give up a lot of home runs, especially to right-handed hitters. He's given up 1 in his career at the big league level.
Maybe I should have thought of that before.
No, that's
I wouldn't.
okay.
It is. I've got faith in AB. I think he can get it done.
The 2-1 pitch. That was just off the edge. 3 balls and a strike. And I like your chances here. Well, not only what Roark hasn't done, the Rangers haven't done. They haven't had a home run in the last 6 ball games. That's their longest dry spell. Ties for the longest dry spell this year, and it's their longest, fewer than 7 games since going back to last year. Softly hit up the middle. Behind second is Espinosa. He throws out back there. And that will do it. Rangers get a 2-out single and a stolen base, but Strand Rios. We're going to the bottom of the 6th in Washington. The Rangers nothing, Nationals nothing. Baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. You know, a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Washington, D.C. Rangers and Nationals locked up in a pretty good pitcher's duel. A lot of Ranger fans trying to cheer their favorite team on to a win here this afternoon. Darvish doing his part. He has worked 5 shutout innings, allowing just 3 hits. He had 10 strikeouts, and first ball swinging. Anthony Rendon drives one to center, but Leonis Martin back with room in front of the warning track, able to make the grab for 1 out. Rendon looking to go up there and ambush a fastball, and he got it. Hit it pretty well, but the biggest part of the ballpark.
Yeah, this Nationals team, they're understanding what Darvish's pattern is, and that's to establish that fastball early in the count, try and get ahead. So they're going up there looking for it and putting some pretty good rips on.
I'm going to bring up Jason Worth. Worth a strikeout his last time up, popped out to short back in the first. And that pitch just a little bit low apparently. 1 ball, no strikes. Worth hitting .288 for the year. Rip and a miss. Breaking ball. Staying in a hittable part of the strike zone, but Worth not able to connect. Yeah, number 2 down there, low and in. That's not where you want to throw to a guy like Worth.
No.
Not the breaking ball. Chopped on the left side. That's through for a base hit. Belcher, a headlong dive, but couldn't come up with it. Now the throw into second. Worth making a big turn at first, but Daniel Robertson making sure he didn't have any designs on going to second.
You know, I like that on both ends. Worth is trying to put pressure on the defense. He probably knows that Robertson's not a regular, everyday outfielder. Got the spot start and comes around first base, and Robertson responds. He throws a nice bullet into Sardinus at second base. I like that.
Well, the hits almost even. 5 for the Rangers, now 4 for the Nationals. As Worth has his first hit. Adam LaRoche, who has walked and struck out, will step to the plate next. Rangers into an overshift, despite having Worth at first base. Good look at the Ranger defense instead of being out in shallow right field, however. Into center field, is dropping in a hurry, and he's in for a hit. Worth had a great read on it, so he's able to go from first to third. And the shift, unfortunately, hurt the Rangers that time because of where the ball was looped to. There was nobody there.
Very difficult ball to get to by anybody, and it didn't work out this time. Darvish got the pitch in, jammed LaRoche a little bit. He's still able to dunk it out into shallow center field for a base hit.
About right there, Worth realizes, hey, that's going to fall.
Right.
He just took off.
It's a great read by Worth. You see what being able to run the bases and just doing those little things can do for a team. Now they've got runners at first and third and just 1 out.
So 5 hits now for each team, and this is the first threat since the first inning that the Nationals have had against Darvish. Wilson Ramos, the hitter, is 1 for 2. And he went up there swinging at the first pitch. 0-1 the count. Ramos singled to center field his last time up there. Back in the first, he was called out on strikes. Ramos in limited tries this year, 3 out of 5, and getting that runner home from third, less than 2 out. He's got Worth over there at third, LaRoche at first. And the pitch low and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Darvish's next pitch will be his 75th of the afternoon. Ron Washington trying to figure out a way to have Darvish get out of this mess. Chopper foul. He's in a situation now where he can think about the strikeout, see if he can't get one past Ramos. Like you, Darvish probably thinks about strikeout from the first pitch on. The guys have to, most mortal guys have to wait until you get the 2 strikes to really have it in the forefront of your mind.
Well, he's in a good position right now to get that strikeout. He's got a couple of pitches he can work with, try and get Ramos to swing at his pitch.
The 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Big strikeout there, number 11 on the afternoon. But most importantly, it is the second out here in the 6th inning.
Beautiful pitch by Darvish. Got exactly what he needed. Those little breaking ball down in the zone, and Ramos understanding, hey, this is a tight ball game. He's not going to be up there taking anything close, but swings at a bad pitch for strike 3.
Well, the 11 strikeouts for the Ranger right-hander, one shy of his season high. That was a dozen strikeouts against the Red Sox back on May 9th. And none bigger today than that one of Ramos with runners at first and third and just 1 out. Here's Ian Desmond, who has struck out both times that he has faced Darvish today. First pitch to him. It's a fastball that just missed for ball 1.
Buzz Darvish kind of looks like he's got a little extra giddy up on that fastball today.
Yeah, you know, I think that especially when he gets in a spot like this where he needs a little extra, he has that left. It's not something he always has, but it's certainly there today. It's at 92, and you know when he tunes it up, like I think most good pitchers, they save a little bit extra for late in the game when they might have a spot. Verlander's great at that. Most of the good pitchers are. But Darvish also gets more movement on his pitches as he gets into a tighter spot. And how that works, I don't have any idea. 1-1 pitch. Out of play. And a ball and 2 strikes now to Desmond. Now Chris Jimenez have to let the defense know what the wishes are of the Ranger bench in case Adam LaRoche takes off from first base. One and 2. Darvish studying the signs. Nods in agreement, a check of LaRoche. The 1-2 pitch. LaRoche on the move. The pitch is fouled back. LaRoche will have to retrace his steps.
There are a couple of different scenarios that can go on where you see Jimenez coming out again to let the infielders know, hey, this is what we're going to do on this play, just in case LaRoche decides to run. I'm not sure that they want to give up any territory right now. LaRoche steals second base, he steals second base. But you don't want to give up a little dunk hit because you're covering second base.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. Worth the runner at third. Darvish looking over his shoulder again. Now he is set to work. In the air to right center field. Looked pretty well. Back is Rios. Finding the sun. Makes the catch. Right in front of the scoreboard. Boy, Alex had that glove up in front of his eyes, and he was fighting it the whole way. But that is the final out of the 6th inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We're going to the 7th, still scoreless in Washington. No runs on 5 hits for each ball club. The only error today committed by the Nationals, that was early in today's ball game. Tanner Roark, 11 ground ball outs and 3 strikeouts. Yu Darvish, 11 strikeouts and just 81 pitches through the first 6 frames. So it's been a well-pitched, well-played game overall. And Donnie Murphy to start off the Rangers 7th. Murphy, Martin, and Jimenez to face Tanner Roark, who throws a breaking ball for a strike on the outside corner. Murphy 1 for 2. Had a leadoff single in the 2nd. Grounded to short his last time up. It's one up the middle and into center field, a base hit. And Donnie Murphy leading off the 7th inning with his 2nd base hit, 2nd leadoff base hit of the day. Well, folks, join Southwest Airlines in celebrating the arrival of Nonstop Love. Just go to southwest.com/RangersLove to enter to win round-trip tickets. The 1 on, nobody out. Leonis Martin, who was up in this situation in the 2nd, showed bunt on the first pitch and then swung away. And I would imagine if he shows bunt, it's the intent of bunting this time.
Yes, this would be a sacrifice bunt, not bunt for a base hit. We're late in the ball game. You're on the road. You want to get that lead if you can.
Martin 0 for 2, the pop-up and a strikeout. No bunt, the hit and run was on. He swung through it. The throw to second, and Donnie Murphy is out from here to the nation's capital, the Capitol building. So a missed hit and run. And Murphy shot down.
Well, Wash still trying to be aggressive. He's got Martin up there who typically swings the bat well, but gets a fastball on the inside part of the plate, and he doesn't make contact. And gets Murphy.
Now he pulls one deep down the right field line. Into the corner. Goodbye. Leonis Martin with his 3rd home run of the year. The Rangers have a 1-0 lead. How about that?
Yeah, I don't think Wash would be too upset now.
Not as upset?
Not as upset. Still somewhat upset, but not as upset. Great at bat by Martin.
Martin just missed a couple of home runs in Minnesota. Ended up with doubles. This one, a high line drive that just snuck its way over the wall into the bullpen.
There's that 2-seam fastball tailing back out over the middle of the plate and up in the zone. And Martin didn't miss that one. Great piece of hitting. Gets it out, gets that bat hit out front and yanks it down that right field line into the bullpen.
Well, here's Jimenez, and he pulls the ball on the ground to short. Desmond up firing. That is out number 2. Jimenez out. Now Luis Sardinas coming up.
Martin, I'm sure, was a little upset with himself for missing that hit and run. Got a pitch he can handle. First happy.
Yeah. Murphy was throwing out on the front end of that botched hit and run. Says, yeah, that boy. Sorry I wasn't on for you.
Hey, see, there we go. I jumped in the booth and might not have picked the right batter at the right time, but hey,
you knew what was coming.
I knew today somewhere, somehow, somebody was going to give these fans a souvenir.
Sardinas takes the pitch outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Leonis Martin with his 3rd home run of the year. Only run of the ball game so far for the Rangers. Sardinas takes inside. It is 2-1. Told you about Roark not giving up many home runs. That's just the 8th he's given up this year. And just still has only given up 1 to a right-handed hitter. Pitch on the inside corner. Roark gave up a home run to Giancarlo Stanton, who the Rangers will see next week, by the way. A week from now, I should say. Marlins come in. 2-2 pitch. And a little chopper foul down the first base side. We'll come back and try it again. Sardinas a walk and a ground ball to short this afternoon. 0 for 1. Hitting at .242. rip at that fastball and fouled it straight back. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Sardinas has been making Roark throw all day long. It seems every at bat he's 2-2, 3-2. So he's seeing a lot of pitches, and this is a very good time for him to make Roark throw some more pitches and hopefully get him out of this ball game.
That ball's in the dirt. The count is full, and Sardinas hitting the number 8 spot. Darvish swinging a bat. He is out of the on-deck circle to be next. Roark nods in agreement, goes to the wind. The payoff pitch on the way. High ball 4. Sardinas draws his second walk. And here comes Darvish now for his 3rd at bat.
That walk right there does a lot of different things here. Number one, it allows Darvish to come to the plate now, stay in the ball game, and go out there and pitch that 7th inning, and maybe possibly even that 8th inning. Because if he didn't bat this inning, he might be done after that next inning. But this allows Wash some more moves.
Darvish, a ground ball to short, a fly ball to left. Takes strike 1. Two outs, Sardinas at first. Roark checks him, comes back to the plate, and this is up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt Williams, the national skipper, over there on the top step of that first base dugout. Slap back to the screen, and count moves to 1-2. I would think the last thing that Darvish would want here is to have to get on base and run the bases. And if you're going to get on, hit the ball out of the ballpark, so you just trot around and come back and sit in the dugout. And you got to preserve your energy.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good right about now.
Roark ready to work. And the 1-2 pitch. Now 2-2.
Well, Darvish is going up there being pretty selective. He's making Roark throw some pitches. He's not just going up there hacking and trying to get back out there on the mound.
Yes.
He's making this young man work.
Next pitch on the way. Called strike 3. Darvish didn't have the desire to go out across the plate and said, okay, that's fine. But Leonis Martin gets the Rangers on top of the solo home run. Stretch time. It is 1-0 Rangers, and now join the crowd here at Nationals Park by honoring America with God Bless America. mind of Yu Darvish all afternoon, and he has been pretty special this afternoon. Boy, he has painted the corners. He has dropped the breaking ball in at will. A cut fastball, that slow hook. Everything from 65 miles an hour up to 95 miles an hour and going left, right, down, and up. Yu Darvish with 11 strikeouts. Rangers, courtesy of Leonis Martin, have given him a 1-0 lead with which to work as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. There's the line for Yu, just 5 base hits. He will face Nate McLeod to start off the 7th inning and misses outside for ball 1. McLeod today has struck out and flied to center field. And strike 1 is called. It's a ball and a strike. Darvish, a very modest pitch count of 83 as he works to McLeod. McLeod, a 184 hitter, leading off this 7th inning. And he pops it up. Foul territory. Adrian Beltre with room by the Ranger dugout makes the grab for out number 1. Big out here in inning number 7. Before Danny Espinosa comes up, let's take time for a Mazda game break. Here's Dana Larson. All right, Dana, thank you. You hate to hear about anybody getting hurt like by a pitch, but especially a guy like Nelly that's having the year that he's having. Danny Espinosa has struck out both times that he's faced Darvish this afternoon. He takes a knee-high strike to even the count. Rangers leading 1-0. They have out-hit the Nationals today 7-5. Espinosa, the switch hitter, up there from the left side against the right-hander Darvish. And another pop-up. Beltre again over right by the Ranger dugout, almost the same spot. Backs out onto the grass this time to make the grab. That is out number 2 on a pair of foul pop-ups. We'll bring up pinch hitter Greg Dobbs. Folks, we'd like to invite you to join us at On the Border for dinner every Tuesday night from now through August the 26th. And enter to win 3 Rangers tickets plus a VIP experience. Just visit OTBFanzone.com for more details. With Dobbs, a pinch hitter coming up there, hitting for Roar. Mike Maddox, Ranger pitching coach, out to the hill. And again, this is a lack of familiarity with the National League team, the American League team. Don't see each other very much. And scouting reports, pretty tough to go over every player on the bench with the significance they may play in the game. So Mike Maddox out there just to remind Chris Jimenez and Yu Darvish what they talked about.
Right, it's tough enough when you're facing a team for the first time and you've got to go with their starting 9 or starting 8 to really remember the guys that are on the bench. You know they're there, but in this situation, a 1-0 ball game, Maddox and Wash just really wanted to make sure that you remembers the game plan against this particular pinch hitter, Greg Dobbs.
Dobbs 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter in a Nationals uniform. 200 the overall average with a couple of RBI. A couple of breaking balls, both of them staying outside. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Dobbs signed with the Nationals as a minor league free agent on May 12th. Didn't spend much time in the minor leagues. The Nationals had a need for him up here. He takes low. The count now has gone to 3-0. Dobbs bidding to get aboard with 2 outs. We'll take the Nationals back to the top of their order for Denard Span. Darvish just the one walk. That was back in the first inning. 3-0 pitch here. And he lost it. A 4-pitch walk puts Dobbs aboard and brings up Span, who was 2 for 3.
You can see Darvish was upset with himself after that 2-0 pitch. Bounced that one. And then ball 4. He knows who's coming up. That's Denard Span. Denard Span's been having some pretty good at-bats. A couple of hits today. He was 3 for 4 off of him coming into today's ball game. So he's added to that total.
The Span doubled in the first inning with a ground rule double, a one-hopper into the bullpen in right field. Second time up, he singled to right. And last time up, fly to center to left field. Dobbs a lead from first, and the pitch to Span is in for strike 1. Span in the last couple of weeks of play has hit better than 360. Had 5 doubles in the 12 ball game since then. Out momentarily, now back in, digging that left foot in at the bat of the batter's box. 1 on, 2 out. Bottom of the 7th inning, Rangers leading 1-0. Nice pick by Chris Jimenez. That ball had backstop written all over it. Jimenez able to slide to his right, picked it right out of the dirt.
You know, this is a tough pitch to pick or even block. You see that breaking ball. Number one, when it bounces, it's going to skip back. And Jimenez was able to get over there and cover it and not let it get to that backstop and let that runner get to second base in the scoring position.
Jimenez checking with the Rangers bench. 1-1 the count as Darvish gets set. A check of Dobbs at first, and he'll drive him back with a little toss. Dobbs on as a pinch hitter walking. Darvish trying to make that insignificant by getting Span to end this 7th inning. And he popped him up. Adrian Beltre calling everybody off near the mound. Adrian Beltre puts away. Looked like he was afraid to step on the pitcher's mound. It's all right, Adrian. Go ahead. One man left. We'll go to the 8th inning. Rangers 1, Nationals 0 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Nationals Park. John Radigan back here, and the Rangers and Nationals head to the 8th inning. The Rangers get a much-deserved day off tomorrow after this 11-day, 11-game road trip, the longest road trip of the year, almost over, and the Rangers hoping to finish it on a high note. And the AT&T U-verse brings us a preview of tomorrow's game. CD back in town, the former Ranger Chris Davis. That's on Tuesday, I should say, because of the off day tomorrow. Leonis Martin playing well at home, as you can see, and has the big home run today as we get it back up to Buzz and Tom, guys.
All right, John, thank you. Yeah, it's been a big home run today for Leonis Martin, and Rangers hope to ride that right on to the second 1-0 win they've had on this road trip. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We're looking for another shutout. They already lead the major leagues with 10 shutouts as a team. Now, a new pitcher on hand here to start the 8th inning for the Nationals. It's Drew Storen.
Just got a report on Drew Storen, his 23rd ball game with a 2-1 record. A great ERA, just under 1 at .95, 19 innings, just 2 walks, 19 strikeouts. He's got 17 holds on this year as well.
When you get into this Nationals bullpen, they have the best bullpen ERA in baseball. They have just been lights out. Storen working to the top of the order. It's Daniel Robertson taking strike 1. Robertson 0 for 3, but he was robbed on a great play by Danny Espinosa, the second baseman, last time up. Robertson, of course, with excellent speed and a sharp ground ball that Espinosa just made a terrific play to nab and then nail him at first. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, Storen's a lot like Roar, that two-seamer that tries to come back and tail over the outside part of the plate. It's a tough pitch for a right-hander to hit if that pitcher can throw it on that outside part of the plate.
1-1. A good breaking ball there. 1-2. Storen, a 26-year-old out of Indianapolis, Indiana. He was the first-round pick back in 2009 for the Nationals, the 10th overall selection in that draft. The 1-2 on the way. Down the first baseline, that's going to stay in foul territory. Storen's going to run right alongside it just in case it decided to maybe come back to the bag. It didn't, and we'll try it again at 1-2.
It's a smart move by Storen.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Robertson who can run, who's behind him, so he knows, hey, if he's going to run by me, I'll pick it up in foul territory. But you never know if it comes back. You got an easy out.
Storen out of Stanford University. Twice he was the first team all Pac-10 pitcher with the Cardinal. 1-2 pitch. He is coming to Robertson. Now 2-2. Daniel, a 125 hit. In case you were not with us earlier, Robertson taking the place of Michael Choice, who was slated to start in left field today. And he lines one to right field. Robertson with a base hit. Oh, good speed aboard for the Rangers to start. Now the throw back behind Robertson, and Daniel retreats to first ahead of the throw.
Atta boy. Nice at bat, leading things off with a single late in the ball game.
You get that leadoff man aboard now, and one of the top sacrifice bunters in all of baseball coming up. We'll see if Ron Washington has Elvis Andrus bunting.
See Robbie get that fastball up out over the middle of the plate and drives it into right field for a single. Wash all of a sudden has some options here. He can bunt Elvis, sacrifice bunt, hit and run, move him over because Robertson can run.
Bunt is on and is fouled back and out of play. 0-1 to Elvis. Elvis, with that attempt, didn't really look like he was committed to a sacrifice. Looks like he was trying to drop one down for maybe a hit.
Right, and you know, I like the leeway that Wash gives a few of these guys, especially in those situations there. Hey, if you get down a bunt, you can put it down. You're going to get that guy over to second base, and you might get yourself a hit out of it. And, you know, he usually gives him a shot, and if he really wants him to bunt, he'll put that sack bunt sign on right now.
And the bunt is pushed to the first base side and comes back into foul territory. And the count goes to 0-2. Now, normally that would mean the sacrifice bunt sign would be off. That's not the case with Elvis. Ron Washington has shown the idea of having Elvis bunt with 2 strikes quite frequently. And Elvis almost always has responded.
Yeah, he does. He's very comfortable bunting with 2 strikes. He's a great bunter, and only great bunters can do that with 2 strikes.
Storen will drive Robertson back with a throw.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. As a matter of fact, I'm expecting Elvis to drop a bunt down this third baseline. Rendon has no idea that he's going to bunt with 2 strikes, and this just might end up being a base hit.
Robertson drawing a couple of throws from Storen.
You really don't see a lot of guys that will do that, or a lot of teams that will do that. And I think this Nationals team is about to be surprised here.
Yeah, that's part of the unfamiliarity part. There are enough American League teams that have seen it from the Rangers to not be caught by surprise. And Elvis not showing bunt there, and he fouls it out of play to the right. Still no balls, 2 strikes. Now it's time for, how about these 3 things you really need to know about Elvis Andrus, the all-time leader in steals with 178. That's in Rangers franchise history. Rangers all-time leader in games played at short with almost 800. The first player named Elvis to play in the World Series. There you go. There's 3 things that you can remember. There's a bunt out in front of the plate. Quickly throwing to first for the out is Ramos. And you're right, Mac. They were all caught by surprise. Ramos, though, got a good break from behind the plate, or that would have been a base hit.
That really would have been. And if Elvis was able to get it over to third base, that was going to be a base hit. It's just something that they do well, it's something they do often, and something they're comfortable doing. See, Elvis, he really wanted to get it to third, but his first priority is just to get it down into fair territory.
Yeah, you can't be real choosy then, can you, with 2 strikes?
No, and the pitch was middle in. If it had been a little further away to the outside part of the plate, he definitely would have got that ball down the third baseline. But hey, he got the job done, got Robertson over to second base.
Yep, sacrifice goes 2-3, and that brings up Alex Rios with a chance to increase the Ranger lead. It's a breaking ball from Storen to the inside corner for strike 1. Alex, a couple of hits today. He's 2 for 3. Singled in the first, singled in the 7th inning, or 6th inning, I should say. In between, rounded into a double play for the 15th time this year. Robertson with great speed, stepping his lead off at the bottom of your screen from second. And a little looper into foul territory. That will drop untouched down the right side. No balls and 2 strikes. Alex Rios, the Ranger team leader with 29 runs driven in. Has a chance to get number 30 with a base hit. Robertson out there at second base. Rangers this year 268 in these situations. Runners in scoring position. 0 for 3 today, so it'll be a great time to get their first hit today. Late swing and a miss. There we go, stand on strike. 2 gone for Adrian Beltre.
Storen makes a good pitch to Rios here. Goes in that little sinker he's got out of the zone. It looked like it probably looked like a strike at the bottom of the zone, and then the bottom fell out of it.
Well, here's Beltre, who was 0 for 3, and I'm going to go ahead and put him on with the right-handed hitting Donnie Murphy in the on-deck circle. Not the only option. Rangers have 2 options on the bench from the left side. Don't think Mitch Moreland is able to swing the bat today. Lower back kind of tightened up on him. Rougned Odor, the only other left-handed hitter to be an option. And the Rangers would have a problem at first base if they pinch hit for Donnie Murphy. So I think Donnie Murphy will probably get this at bat.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to put Chu over at first base.
Well, the intentional walk puts Beltre aboard. Donnie Murphy coming up. Let's take a look at our selection today for the AT&T fan photo. You folks can submit your photos by tweeting them to us Hashtag Southwest fan photo. This is from Caitlin. This picture out at Rangers. All the Rangers gear available out there at the ballpark, Worldwide Park. Appreciate that, Caitlin. Thank you very much. And we encourage all of you to tweet your photos. We will select one for every ball game that we have on our air at Fox Southwest. A first and second. Donnie Murphy is 2 for 3 today. First time he's faced Drew Storen. And a line drive, base hit to center field. Robertson around third will score without a throw. And Donnie Murphy comes through with his 3rd hit of the day. A huge 2-out single. The Rangers are on top 2-0.
Beautiful piece of hitting. Donnie Murphy swinging a good bat, swinging the bat well since he's been back with the Rangers, and picks up a huge RBI single here. Breaking ball hangs out over the middle of the plate, and Donnie hammers it into right center field for an RBI single. To another 2-out RBI for this Rangers ball club. Great at bat here. Got pitched around, intentionally walked Beltre to get to him, and some players take that personally.
Yep.
Donnie Murphy made him pay for it.
Donnie knew what to do with it and turned that into determination. So Donnie Murphy with a big RBI, his 11th run driven in. Pitching change underway here at Nationals Park. Rangers on top 2-0 here in the 8th inning. We'll take a timeout. Back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Food and Nylabone is the perfect way to take in a Rangers game. Enjoy a pregame dog parade before the Rangers take on the Baltimore Orioles on Thursday, June the 5th. Visit TexasRangers.com to get your tickets. Call 972-RANGERS. You bring your dog out, Matt? Bark at the park?
My dogs are a little bit too large to come out there.
Are they?
They kind of think that other animals are food. So I'm going to leave them at home like I always do.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, the veteran left-hander Jerry Blevins on to handle things here in the 8th inning.
Scouting report on Jerry Blevins, his 27th ball game, a 2-2 record. ERA 4.22, 9 walks in 21 innings. So he has a tendency to be a little erratic.
He fires a strike to Leonis Martin. It's 0-2. Leonis last time up gave the Rangers their first run of the game, a solo home run, and his 3rd of the year. He's an opportunity now to do some more damage. He has runners at second and first. Beltre at second. Donnie Murphy, after the RBI single, is at first. And he lays off that breaking ball. Last time up, 7th inning, Leonis Martin against Tanner Roark. Oh, he got a pitch up around his shoulders and he drove it on out of here. Line drive, home run into the Nationals bullpen.
Beautiful sound. Oh yeah, I forgot. You don't like that one. Okay.
I like the result, but not the sound. Levin's a couple of looks at second, and the 1-2 pitch is low. That evens the count to Martin. Leonis 1 for 3 here this afternoon. That batting average at .279. He pulls a breaking ball from Blevins, foul. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Team's hanging in there. Took a tough pitch. 0-2 for a ball down low, breaking ball, and then waited back on that one nicely as much as he possibly could, and fouled it off.
Beltre at second, Donnie Murphy at first. Leonis Martin facing the 30-year-old left-hander Jerry Blevins. A little loop around into left field. Coming on McLeod. Plenty of time to get there. Makes the catch, and that'll do it. The Rangers add on a big 2-out RBI for Donnie Murphy. They get a run on 2 hits and strand 2. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Rangers 2-0. Darvish has a 2-0 lead with which to work as he heads back to the mound for the 8th inning. He will face Rendon, Worth, and LaRoche. Darvish has allowed just 5 base hits through the first 7 innings, a couple of walks, and 11 strikeouts. Fires strike 1 to Anthony Rendon. Rendon is line to center, fly to center, and grounded to first. 0-1 pitch. Up and a miss. Mac, how big is that extra run the Rangers added on in the top of the 8th inning?
Huge. That's a huge insurance run there. You know, any one of these guys on this ball club can hit the ball out of the ballpark with one swing, so they've got to get something going. You know, 2 or 3 guys have to do something now.
Got him swinging. Darvish with a season-high tying 12th strikeout. 1 gone.
Darvish coming back with the breaking ball again. Down at the bottom of the zone. He's making pitches when he needs to. He's not going to get hurt here. Rendon Swings right through it for the first out, and that's a huge out. Especially going, you're dealing with the middle of the lineup now. So you've got Worth here, you've got LaRoche next. You get that leadoff guy, it makes things just a little bit easier.
Now you almost go out by out, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Worth hits one right off the end of the bat. Dribbles it into the National dugout. Look at Darvish's breakdown inning by inning. Well, that is very consistent. Chopper slowly bounced out to short. Elvis up with it. And that is out number 2.
Nice piece of pitching. This might be it for Darvish. You got LaRoche coming up, who's been putting together some pretty good at bats.
And Ron Washington out to talk to his right-hander. 99 pitches by our count here on Fox Sports Southwest. Ron Washington didn't appear to have his mind made up. He's got Neil Kotz ready if needed, but he's going to stick with Yu Darvish. Now, with the left-hander Adam LaRoche up there, and Yu Darvish apparently gave him the right answers. Ron Washington, what questions he was posing to Yu. Wash satisfied that Darvish is the best guy for the job right now.
I think a lot of it really has to do with what's in their eyes when he goes out there, in a situation like this. He looks at them, and it may not even matter what they say. He's looking at how they're looking at him, to really determine, hey, yes, he's telling me the truth. Because most pitchers, they're probably going to say, no, I got it, even when they're out of gas and probably don't have the stuff to do it.
Yeah, I think if you're a manager, that's what you want to have a guy say.
Absolutely.
But you can read other things into it. LaRoche is 1 for 2, a walk and a single. Darvish misses to make it 2 balls and no strikes. LaRoche's single came back in the 6th inning. Dumped a single into left field. For the time being, it gave the Nationals a chance. They had runners at the corners and 1 out. And a towering pop-up out of the shallow right center field. On comes Leonis Martin. He has the glasses down on his eyes. They are gleaming. He puts it away. It's a 1-2-3-8 inning for Yu Darvish. He has sent the Nationals down in order. We're going to the 9th. Texas on top, 2-0. At a Texas Rangers game. Get discounted tickets for Wednesday, June 25th game against the Tigers. Plus, the first 1,000 fans get a free Rangers cap in TCU purple and black. Go to TexasRangers.com/TCU for details. The 9th inning has arrived here in Washington, D.C. Rangers on top 2-0. They have out-hit the Nationals 9-5. And in the 9th, they will face the closer in obviously a non-save situation. That would be Rafael Soriano.
The scouting report on Rafi Soriano. It's his 22nd game. a 1-0 record. A very nice ERA of .86. 21 innings, 8 walks, 18 strikeouts. And this is their closer. He hasn't allowed, he's only allowed a run in one of his 21 outings so far this year.
And speaking of closers, we got one of those too. Rangers have Joakim Soria out there. First ball swinging, Jimenez drives one up the alley, and one hops it off the wall. A leadoff two-bagger for Chris Jimenez. That didn't take long.
Not long at all. Jimenez got a pitch he could drive out over the middle of the plate, and usually when that reliever comes in, he's trying to get ahead with a fastball first pitch. And since Jimenez is a catcher, he probably knows that and was looking for it. Jumped all over it.
The Rangers now in double figures with 10 hits today. Have just 2 runs to go with it, but they have not given up any. That's the important thing. Leading 2-0. And it would be an important run if they are able to get Jimenez home here in the 9th inning. Luis Sardinas, the number 8 hitter, looking down into the on-deck circle. Michael Choice had grabbed a bat. Yu Darvish, the next scheduled hitter, was not out there, and now Choice being called back to the dugout. So it's quite possible that depending on what Luis Sardinas does, you might get Michael Choice, you might get Shin-Soo Choo if he's able to swing the bat. I doubt that you would see Yu Darvish under any circumstance, to be quite honest. I don't think that Mike Maddox and Ron Washington are going to allow Darvish to go into the 9th no matter what. Pitch high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sardinas.
No, you've got Soria out there who's well rested. Hadn't pitched in a few days. Got a 2-0 lead. He'll bring that closer in.
Sardinas a couple of walks this afternoon. 0 for 1 officially. There's Jimenez right there at the bottom of your screen, getting his lead from second. And showing bunt. This time he takes a strike, and it's 1-2. He's going to get Jimenez over. He's going to swing the bat to do it.
I'm not quite sure if he's going to try and bunt with 2 strikes. I think he'd be better off trying to swing it and pull it to the right side to get Jimenez to third.
Soriano sets, and Sardinas around the bunt. And he bunts it foul and strikes out. Well, Jimenez still at second. And Shin-Soo Choo is going to come up as a pinch hitter. Choo, who did not start today, has soreness in that left ankle still. But it's good enough to swing a bat right here.
It's good to have somebody come off the bench that has some stock and understands what they need to do in this situation. A veteran ball player, and hopefully Soriano will give him something to hit and not just pitch around him.
Yeah. I think if I'm Soriano, he's not getting a whole lot to work with, but we'll find out. Got first base open. Choo, a .289 hitter, 6 home runs, 18 RBI. He's got Jimenez at second with 1 out. The first pitch off the outer corner. It is 1-0. Shin-Soo with a .211 average on this road trip. It's the 11th and final game of this 3-city swing. Check swing. The pitch was high. It's 2-0. Choo back in, deep in that batter's box. Soriano okays the sign, and to the plate he comes. And ball 3 is high. Soriano not really interested in giving Shin-Soo Choo much to work with.
It's probably a smart move. You've got Robertson on deck, the right-handed hitter that hasn't faced Soriano before.
3-0, and that catches the inside corner. Soriano peering in for the sign. That's the one he wants from Wilson Ramos. Swinging Wilson, he just came right after him.
Nice fastball right down the middle of the plate. She's not able to catch up to that one.
Well, 3-2 with one out. Soriano's next pitch is high, ball 4. Drew draws the pinch hit walk. And that will bring up Daniel Robertson. We're going to have a pinch runner for Chu. It's like Nick Martinez, who, well, he's become an everyday player. Pitcher, he pinch hit yesterday. He's coming on as a pinch runner today. Going to carry the bags out to the bus after the game's over. Anything this guy can't do.
He might be flying the plane home. I'm not sure.
Might be.
Jack of all trades.
Yes, he is. Former middle infielder for Fordham at the college level. So he's on as a pinch runner for Chu. First and second with one out. Daniel Robertson singled to right field his last time up. 1 for 4. Soriano's first pitch is outside for ball 1.
I think they might create a new position, a utility pitcher.
There you go. Nick Martinez would be the first one in line for that job. Soriano a couple of looks at second. Misses high and away. Boy, and how often do you see as a closer comes in and without a save possibility on the line, struggles a little bit, whether it's focus, whether it's whatever it is, but they just don't seem to fare as well in these non-save situations.
Yeah, you see it a lot, and you know, you get that close. I don't know if it's ego or what. Hey, there's nothing here on the line.
Right.
I'll go out here, and that focus just isn't as sharp. It's not there. That intensity level doesn't get up to where it needs to be when the game's on the line. But you see it time and time again.
A little conference in the mound, a little pep talk from a couple of the infielders for Rafael Soriano. 2 balls, no strikes the count. Now 2-1. Soriano, a big guy at 6'4", about 230 pounds. He's a 34-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. Signed as a free agent with the Nationals back before the 2013 season. He had 43 saves last year. He gets the outside corner of Robertson in. It's 2-2. Joaquin Soria continuing to loosen. He is just about ready in the Ranger bullpen. Anxious to come in and see if he can't wrap up a save and make this a 7-4 trip for the Rangers. The 2-2 delivery. And the count has gone full. Soriano enticing Daniel Robertson with a breaking ball, but did not get an offer. The count is full with Elvis Andrus waiting in the on-deck circle. Jimenez at second, Martinez at first. Nick Martinez on as a pinch runner for the pinch hitter, Shin-Soo Choo. Payoff pitch on the way. Line to right field. Hit pretty well. That'll send Worth back, but he has a play. Worth makes the catch, tagging at second. Moving to third is Chris Jimenez. The Rangers now with runners at the corners, but 2 away for Elvis Andrus. Daniel Robertson showing you pretty consistent effort driving that ball to the right side.
It's a nice at bat by Robertson. Hung in there, got him all the way to 3-2, and hammered one to right field.
Well, Elvis coming to the plate is 2 for 3 today. He's had a pair of singles. Last time up, had a 2-strike sacrifice bunt. Up there now with a chance to expand the Ranger lead, which currently is 2-0. He had a rip at Soriano on that first pitch. Fouled it back to the screen. It is 0-1.
I think he wants that one back.
Yeah. Where you bite a hole in your lip, trying to hold back the frustration. Say,
try not to let that pitcher know that, hey, that was my pitch. But something tells me Soriano knew that.
Don't think that was a secret?
No.
Our Echo pitch tracker showing you exactly where that was, and that's pretty much in Elvis's favorite zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Soriano has given up a double and a walk. He's also had a strikeout and a fly ball to right. One pitch. And that's pop foul. That will reach the seats over the Nationals dugout. A ball and 2 strikes to Elvis. Elvis digging back in, getting out of a slightly open stance against Soriano. Veteran right-hander, a high set. And Elvis fighting off an inside fastball. Soriano originally came up with the Mariners back in 2002. After his first foray in the major leagues that year, he had 8 starts. Since then, been almost exclusively a reliever at the big league level. A closer for the last 4 big league seasons. High and tight, that evens the count now at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Soriano also spent time with Atlanta and Tampa Bay and the Yankees before coming over here to Washington. Right-hander's ready, a check of the runners. And Elvis, it's a high fly ball down the right side. That is peeling back and out of play. And Worth tripped on the foul line as he went over. Fortunately, Jason's okay. I shouldn't make light of that, but it just looked a little odd from our vantage point. Well, Elvis back in there. The count still 2-2. Soriano is ready. One outside. And for the second straight hitter now, Soriano has come from ahead in the count to a full count. Elvis trying to extend this 9th inning. If he does, Alex Rios would be next. With 2 outs now, Nick Martinez get a chance to get in a couple of wind sprints over there at first base. Soriano about ready to throw his 25th pitch in this 9th inning. There goes Martinez, 3-2. Is popped foul. We're going to have a 26th pitch by Soriano. Nick jogging back over to first.
He's got it like this. Got it like this.
Yeah. For a pitcher, anytime you get a chance to step on the field and not have to worry about hanging a slider, you can have fun with it. Echo pitch tracker showing you pitches all over the place to Elvis. Again, the 3-2. And this one is going to be in play. Popped up behind second base. Got Desmond and Espinosa. It's Espinosa, the second baseman, taking charge, making the catch. Rangers are gone in the 9th. They strand 2 on a hit and a walk. Bottom of the 9th, it's Joaquin Soria time in Washington, D.C. Rangers on top 2-0. is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. And by your Texas Ford dealer. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. The bottom of the ninth inning here at Nationals Park. Rangers trying to salvage the final game of this three-game set. They will turn the game over to their 30-year-old closer, Joakim Soria.
And this got a report on Joakim Soria. It's his 21st ball game with a 1-2 record. 10 for 11 in save opportunities and a 2.37 ERA. And this is his first outing since going 3 days in a row.
Those couple of days off should have gotten him back to good health and first ball swinging. Wilson Ramos rounding out to short and one pitch for Soria and one out. If there was any doubt about how healthy you were or how rested you were, that would have certainly helped you. At least psychologically, you could throw one pitch up there and get it out.
That's very nice. Very nice. I don't think he's going to be worried too much about how he's bouncing back. I think he probably feels pretty good. I mean, yeah, it's his first time going 3 days this year, or since his surgery, actually. So this is somewhat of a test for him.
Now, one gone. Here's Ian Desmond. He was 0 for 3. A strike fired right through there by Joakim Soria. Soria taking over for Yu Darvish. Darvish went 8 shutout innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, a dozen strikeouts today. Well-located fastball at 91. Foul back. It's 0-2.
Soria being aggressive, going right after it. Getting ahead of Desmond, 0-2. Desmond hasn't been swinging the bat, but you still have to be careful.
There's that very slow hook. Well, you wouldn't even get a speeding ticket on most highways for that anymore. 68 miles an hour. A ball and 2 strikes to count. Ranger outfield playing deep. They're going to cut off most doubles out there. There's a slider, and that's outside. 2-2 now. Infield straight away against the right-handed hitting shortstop. Next pitch. Got him swinging. Hard breaking ball, and Desmond gone on strike, so the Nationals down to their final out. Soria with his first strikeout. 13 punch-outs for Ranger pitching today.
Nice breaking ball by Soria. Tails away from Desmond just at the last minute. Drops underneath that bat for a strikeout. Third time today Desmond struck out.
Now here's Nate McLouth. And he takes strike 1. McLouth has struck out, flied to center, and fouled out to Adrian Beltre. McLouth, of course, a very speedy outfielder, and you don't want to get him on base, especially if you had a 1-run lead. That's where that extra run that Mac was talking about in the 8th inning for the Rangers really made a difference. Trying to take that idea of having one fast guy on base out of the equation. 0-2 pitch. Tried for the back door and just didn't have the enough tilt on it to get it back in there. It's 1-2.
Nice pitch to go to. Throw it to McLeod, throw it away from him. He's not going to hit it out the opposite way.
Got him swinging. And that is a winner for Joakim Soria and the Rangers. Now Soria, a 1-2-3 inning, a pair of strikeouts, and the Rangers snap a very brief 2-game losing streak, and they win their 7th on this road trip. 7 out of 11. So the Rangers shutting out the Washington Nationals, the 11th shutout by Ranger pitching this year. That is the most in Major League Baseball. And what an afternoon it was for Darvish and Soria. Just 5 base hits given up, only 2 base runners other than the 5 hits allowed to the Nationals.